3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? You're watching another episode of Ash on Comics. My name is Ash. Here's today's comic, Heroes in Crisis number 9. Ooh, out of focus. Nothing professional. There's a little dog in the background being quiet. Here is Stan. How's it going, Stan? Got a big drink? And there's the other dog being noisy. Hey, this is the final issue, the one you've been waiting for. Look at this cover. It's a beautiful cover, actually. I really like it. I wish I could like this book. Spoiler alert. Yeah, well, I do like these covers. I've been collecting the B covers, which had these case files, and I'm not a big fan of the normal covers. I guess that's what I say when I like this cover. Most of the normal covers all sucked. The case file covers are really cool, and they don't really have much to do with the books, but they just had like a crisis moment of an individual character, like Aquaman losing his hand or Batman getting his back broken. This one feels more like a normal cover. It's not a case file, but it fits in the same theme. And I really think DC editorial would have been clever, I think, for them to just make this the A and the B cover. You know, if anything, you know, maybe have, I don't know, some alternate color in her fingernail or something stupid. If you need to have two covers, because that's how we get to milk the comic fans these days, because we don't sell enough comics. We don't have enough comic fans buying comics. So the solution is instead of making good comics to get more people into the medium, the solution is to gimmick the comics to get the fans that do exist to buy more comics. And if you can't see the problem in that, then I don't need to tell you. But I think it would have been really cool because this would have fit as a normal cover, and it fits the B. So whichever one you order, if you're B covers like me, it leads up. This is the final cover. It matches. If you're getting A covers, it leads up. This would match. It would have been a neat thing that I hadn't seen done before. Anyways, so this is a rare live review. Not live, but like a physical review. I do most of my reviews on the iPad now. Just because the illumination of the iPad creates even lighting for the pages. I don't have to worry about the book getting damaged or having anything on my hands or wetness just from touching my drink. Also, I don't have to worry about this. These comics are really, these Heroes in Crisis comics with the hard pages. And I love these covers. It's like the Polaroid part is glossy, but the rest is matte. That's really nice. And for only, I don't want to say only $3.99, but you know, if this were Marvel, they'd be upcharging like $1 or $2 for this special nice covers. The problem with these covers is that after you read them, they don't lie flat. And I don't want to like crease it all back either. Someone might want to buy this comic, who knows? So fortunately I have this little thing, and it will hopefully hold the comic page back, because only the cover really needs to be held back. And it's got plenty of bend. And yeah. So we start off with the typical pretentious Tom King bullshit. I want to be Alan Moore. And yes, Sergeant Bats, if you're watching, I'm starting to side with your argument. Bats was the first one that posed to me that he was trying to be Alan Moore, and I kind of argued back with him, and I was like, I don't really see it that much, but his argument's starting to get more and more solid. At least with the pretentious side, he just, let's just see here. Jason Blood, the demon. I have an inner demon, but it's not the one you think. Oh. The Guardian. And that's just it, right? Whatever it is, or whatever happens, I'm not Superman. Oh, you poor thing. You should see a therapist about that. It's so, what it must be like to deal with not being Superman. Oh my God. Firestorm. My head is on fire. I shouldn't joke. This is serious. I'm taking this seriously. So seriously, my head is on fire. Oh, that sound is my palm of my hand hitting my face. Yeah, and the rest, it doesn't get any better. Here, look. Thanks, dogs. I'm just trying to record here. Thanks. Red Robin. Dick's the funny, nice one. Jason's the rebellious, cool one. Damien's the cute, mean one. So, I get it. I get it more than I get it. But what the hell am I? Oh. You're fucking Robin. You're one of, 4 chosen people by Batman to be his number 2? Like, his right-hand man? Like, seriously, what the... I don't know what I am. There's other Robins. I can't handle this. So we flip the page, and Clayman does not ever fail to deliver in these 2-page spreads. We get the little booster, the Beetle mobile. I don't know if I can focus in. See, on an iPad, I could just drag it, pinch open. Oh, it doesn't work. But this is gorgeous. This is my favorite of his 2-page spreads by far. It's probably going to even look better on digital. It's too bad that this means this bad connotation in my mind now. Finale, All of Us, by Tom King, Clayman, and a bunch of other people. Jamie S. Rich. Now, we get this panel sequence, and before I go into this, I want to say, I'm trying to treat this book fairly. I'm not trying to come into this book as a hater and just be like, oh, it's going to... Honestly, I believe that every book should be judged on its own merit, and a story should be judged on the entire piece of it. I know that issue 8 got a lot of backlash, and I was one of those people ranting about how bad it was. Issue 6 and 7 were actually worse. 8 just had the horrible treatment of a beloved character that was undeserved and not really justified, which is not really forgivable in comics. 6 and 7 didn't do that, but they were just pretentious garbage and boring and just nonsense. But issue 5 was pretty good. Issue 1 I thought was stellar. I still think I had done a review saying it was the best comic of the year. I loved it. Solid book. I try to get in arguments with people about this series, and issue 8 has a lot of people who are just like, F this series. And I agree with them, but at the same time, I'm like, let's let it play out before we give our final judgment. It's one thing to say, hey, I don't like where this is going. It's another thing to say this series is shit when you haven't seen the whole thing yet. It's kind of like watching half a movie and then not seeing it through and then judging it. And oftentimes you can get a good guess at what the judgment should be, and you'll probably be right, but you won't be 100% certain unless you see the whole thing. So I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to read this book, and I'm trying to think, okay, maybe there's some way they're going to spin this. Maybe I'm not seeing. Maybe they'll make lemons out of lemonade, or the other way around, lemonade out of lemons. Let's see. So it's with that I'm reading the book. There's a flower floating in the Gotham River, a rose. Find it, plant it. It's one more thing. Is that it? Yeah, I guess that's it. Okay. And then we get this scene. We've already know what happens because this is playing back, and we're just like, oh God. And it's easy right now to just be like, but trying to be fair and open-minded and taking the book into its own context and not hating on things we kind of know where the direction's going. Just like let the story play out. I'm like, okay, well, this is a good panel sequence. It's meaningful. And we turn this page and crash out of nowhere. And another beautiful full-page spread by Clayman, one of the best artists in the business. And this, I just did not see it coming. I was just like, oh, God, here it comes. And then boom! And my heart kind of skipped a beat. I was like, wait, what's going on? Something's being interrupted. The time stream is not allowed to persist. Oh, okay, I'm excited. Did that work? Is Wally still alive? Well, we're still alive, so at least that worked more than I thought it would work. Oh no, Stan. Sorry, buddy. I knocked Stan over. Don't elder abuse. Don't knock Stan over. Hun, we landed. Time to get up. We got to, go save the day. Sleeping through crash. She's sleeping. Oh, isn't it so cute? Isn't it so cute in modern SJW comics how girls always like each other even when they're mortal enemies, and even though when one's a mass psycho serial killer, they just get along and like each other because, you know, girl power. Such bullshit. Harley Quinn is the dumbest fucking character. I hate this character with a passion that I cannot describe. And Batgirl, what's wrong? Does anyone like Why does people like This is not Batgirl. This character. What? Who are you? Oh, look, more 9-panel nonsense. Oh, that's another Robin. Jason is the cool, rebellious one. Tim is the dark, smart one. Damian is the cute, dangerous one. Everyone knows. But what the hell am I? Oh, I smell a pattern yet? Oh, at least you got orphan right. I dreamed. Really, dog? I dreamed of Krypton again, and it was nice for a bit. Oh, so Green Lantern. Let's be honest, right? I don't even know what the hell Will is. Do you? Bitch, you are the embodiment of Will. What the? Shut the fuck up, Tom King. Yawn. So what did I miss? Oh, cutesy Harley. It's so cutesy. Well, Flash is the killer, and he's the victim, and he's alive twice. Best guess, he did it. Frame Booster and Harley using the chamber. Then killed his future self to get the body to complete the frame. Which is what we're seeing now, what we just interrupted. Of course, Batman couldn't figure this out, but in modern comics, right, women, am I right? They're just better. Men are just here to be the comic relief. This is the superior Bat person. She just immediately put everything together. Of course, whatever. Oh, speaking of jokes of men, seems legit. My birthday party last year kind of played out almost exactly like that. But, you know, obviously without the killing and the suicider's part. See, Skeets had got me this crappy gift, and I thought if I could go back and... Doesn't matter. Flash, killer, gotta stop Flash, on it. Oh, we're fucking... Okay, so Tom King is in the middle of telling one of the darkest, most morose, depressing stories in the history of DC Comics, where one of the most hopeful characters in the universe just decides to turn into a killer and become a bad guy for no other reason than because he's depressed and pitiful and sorry for himself. Because ultimately Tom King is this way, we can only surmise, and so then these characters have to be this way. And yet, he still can't stop with the Big Bang Theory banter, bullshit, nonsense, Bendis-isms. Even in the middle of this, it's gotta be like, gotta put the witty speak. It's snappy. It's what the people's like today, the snappy talking. Who cares about the actual story? So, joke, supreme being, joke. Yas queen, you go, girl. And can I just mention, look at this. This artist, Clayman, is one of the best in the business, and he's really being used. This is, look at that anatomy. Damn. This guy is awesome. And even this isn't fully utilizing his best abilities. But why do you get Clayman to draw this? Oh, and not just like one page. I could see it like one. This is 9 issues, multiple pages per issue. Multiple pages. And speaking of using Clayman, like, this panel sequence is fantastic, but not the writing. Okay, so I kind of jumped ahead because we saw Harley here going, holy shit. And of course, forced cursing. That's always an SJW modern thing. We can't have people talk normally without cursing. We have to throw that in there because it's cooler. It's weird how we talk about like edgelord shit of the 90s and like moderns make fun of it, when modern comics are actually more edgy, like with shit like this. Pretty girl. Oh, God, I gag every time I hear Tom King writers saying that. Oh, hello, Harley Quinn. How pleasant to see you. I understand that it is a shock to you that I am here. A shock to me as well. However, I do not wish you to be shocked. Allow me to explain. Now, I love this shot here. We just see, and then this superimposed headshot is, it's perfect. And then here, Harley's getting down the slope. I don't know what slope is in a big open field, but whatever. You get the urgency. That's what's important. You immediately feel the urgency in Harley. My body died, but I had given a piece of myself to you in a flower, so that we would be together when we could not be together. After 5 days passed, the flower was planted. This piece of myself merged with the green, shaped the green, and I am reborn. Or perhaps it is better said, I am. And you can see Harley, just the urgency again. This is great. And the clouds in the background. Looks like the Dust Bowl. Regrown. Pretty girl. Now, taken on its own, this is a pretty emotional moment. Clayman illustrates it beautifully, lays out the panels beautifully, utilizes the full page spread the best way, and again, it's just beautifully illustrated. I even like her body kind of grows in the ground. Now, I'm guessing, I'm not a DC scholar, but I'm guessing she's become another Swamp Thing character type, whatever, equivalent, a female equivalent of Swamp Thing, if you will. Yay. And then look, more nine panel nonsense. Another Robin. Dick's the funny, nice one. Tim's the smart, loyal one. Damien's the obnoxious little one. So what the hell am I? Dun 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 dun. Dumb. All these are dumb. Oh, back to the emotional paneling. You have to kill me. I have to kill you. Oh, look at this standing in the sunlight, silhouetted. It's gorgeous. I know you do. Because you messed up. Because you're hurting. But most of all, because you're alone. But the thing is, it's pretty much everything. And I swear it's true. I swear, even if it sounds like a lie right now, even if you feel in your heart it's just made up crap, and you just have to have dumb faith in dumb me being smarter than dumb you. That's really hard to read. Just weird dialogue. And he's holding his hand out. Now, this is the dichotomy here of this book. This pretentious melodrama contrasted with this beautiful art, ace storytelling, panel progression, everything. You're just like, oh, this is amazing. If you could just look at these panels without reading, this would be so much better. That's a bad thing when you're a writer. You should never have that happen. And then we get this emotional moment. Kid, you're not alone. Technically, if he has to be the one to tell himself that, then he is alone. I just want to point this out. There's a big elephant in the room that no one seems to notice. If the only one telling you you're not alone is you're alone. So congratulations, Wally. Without your future self being in your time period and interacting with you. And does anyone else see this as problematic? So, okay, I'm going to diverge here for a second. Harley Quinn having a homosexual relationship with, first of all, another supervillain. So it's hard to be becoming like the hero. But in SJW La La Land, heroes are the villains are the heroes. They really perceive these people like the good guys are twisted. But beside the point, homosexual relationship. Oh, Ash, what's wrong with that? You some sort of homophobe? No. But we're not allowed to talk about homosexuality as a choice. Yet, studies show over and over, especially among females, that homosexuality is a choice. Oh my God, Ash, how dare you say such a thing? Okay, hold on a second. Yes, I understand. In modern society, we don't actually address scientific studies anymore. We just go with what's culturally appropriate, what's politically correct. I know it's politically correct to say these things. And that's where I'm saying this is problematic. Because Harley Quinn is textbook abusive heterosexual relationship, woman turning to become homosexual. This happens quite commonly where women will be heterosexual for many, many years, have an abusive husband that they were with for a long time, and they finally, when they break free, they cannot go back to another man, so they turn to a woman. But it is one of those things that we sweep into the closet, we don't want to talk about. You can't talk about anymore because of the culture war, and you will be outed as some sort of, bigot, hater, all this sort of stuff. But yet it's being told right in front of our eyes in DC Comics. I'm just waiting for this fire to rage up. I'm just surprised that they're even putting this in the comic books. It's like, I get that you do things like, oh, Iceman's gay. He's been gay all the time. Surprise. Even though the fans go, no, he wasn't. We can show you 40 years of history where he wasn't gay. But at least Marvel is not saying he turned gay. That would be a huge... The LGBTQ plus whatever groups would just be livid. So what about here? I'm wondering. Anyways, I've spent too long on that, but it stunk out like a sore thumb to me. I'm like, what's going on? What? So should we arrest him? Yes. Or sorry, they're the fastest man alive. You can't arrest them. I don't even think we're allowed to arrest people, technically speaking. Don't worry, I got a PhD. That means I can arrest people, pretty sure. I could give them sweet potatoes. Do they want sweet potatoes? Oh God. This is literally what there are going to be people who will try to tell you that this book is great. This is one of the best modern comics in years. It just so people will be studying this in university. This is bullshit. This is garbage. Listen to me, and it's weird, but listen. I've been you. 5 days ago, I came here. Let me tell you, before anything, what you need to do next is talk to these people, hear their story, tell yours, and understand. You're not the only one who tried to do something good but ended up doing something horrible. Oh, Booster. Are you trying to say something about Booster? You're not the only one who's been hurt so bad that the hurt becomes a part of you as much as you hate it. That the hurt is you. Oh, Batgirl. Is that why you're starting to like the villains? You're not the only one who was betrayed by a friend who's had the person they thought they could trust forever end their life. You're not the only one who felt the madness creep in, who wants to turn away from it all and keeps turning towards it. Harley wants to be good, and they're trying to stepping stones. And you're not the only one who does terrible things, who will now forever try to make up for that harm. Oh, yep. She Swamp Thing. Oh, look, more nine-panel nonsense. Oh, with a Robin. They all have Robins in them. I'm fine. Why? What'd they say? That was kind of cute. Oh, look, it's Bendis. I can swear this ad is in the book multiple times. Oh, look, I turned the page, and it is. This is funny. So, this is all this more gobbledygook. Tom King. I couldn't travel back in time and redo what I had done, unmake a mistake. That's what Barry did. and it remade the world, and it erased my family. But I needed to do something good, something no one else could do, but I could, to make up for what happened. And I could see it, what it was, how I could help. I could help people like me to show them that they're not, that other people are like me, so they don't have to be like me. I could show them, tell them about Sanctuary, tell them what I had done, what the people they call heroes had done. If they knew we were making mistakes, getting help, that help meant, or what that help meant, what happens when you don't get help, maybe they would get help before they could make mistakes like I'd made, like I was making. Okay, so here is the entire problem with this whole story. So Tom King is trying to tell this story now of the heroism of Flash was that he released all the secrets of Sanctuary to the world. And that showing the world that people like him, all the heroes, were making mistakes and they were getting help, would help the world, because they would see it and go, oh, look, Flash, he speaks to someone, and it helps him. So before I flip my shit and murder my family because I'm going through some issues and then take a shotgun to myself, maybe I'll go see someone. That's what Tom King's trying to say. Go get help before you hurt someone. And if you see the superheroes do it, we'll set the example. Here's the whole fucking problem. Flash murdered a bunch of people, and then he framed his friends to do it. When he went to Sanctuary. Do you understand, Tom King, the problem with your story? Flash did get help, and then look what he did. Now, I have a problem, my own personal dealings with therapy, and it's affected my life in a negative way because people I love went and got help and then did really fucking stupid shit because therapists led them down a path to do fucking really stupid shit. So I kind of have a personal bias to this, and I'll be transparent with you, at least up to that level. And this angers me. But I also do think therapy and psychological help has a place. And maybe Tom King needs to get it. And maybe he should be listening to his own advice. But there's a problem here. The story just doesn't end. So yeah, and what you did, we did, you did bad things because you weren't thinking right. And because of those bad things, Superman came out and he told people the truth. We're not hiding anymore. I tried. That's a good thing. But that can't be the end. That's what I learned from Superman talking. We can't get away from this. You can't kill me or you. More violence doesn't solve it. We did it. We gotta face it. I didn't want. And then, I hate having to criticize this book. Clayman's art's beautiful. And this is emotionally, the art here is emotional. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It was all so fast. And it goes on. And yes, if this story was good, honestly, I could see. There is a story in here. And Tom King was let down by the incapable editorial staff at DC Comics. I don't think Modern Comics has capable editors anymore. But I think in the hands of a good editor who had a good assistant editor, and they're sitting talking through this story and helping him shape his idea, because he has an idea here. There is an importance, to a story like this with people needing help and getting it. But it went off the map too many times and took too many wrong turns and did some dumb shit that could have easily been avoided. Oh, God. And then it just keeps going. And they're like talking about, I'll be just arrested, blah, blah, blah. That's true. And then Booster, I like kind of how they transition here. It says, yeah, that's true. But then Booster says, and then all of a sudden Booster breaks in. Wait, no one has to kill anyone. Don't you know anything about messing up time? You just have to complete the loop. Make sure everyone stays what it is. You don't need a dead Flash. You just need a body. One matching 5-day-old Flash. See, young Flash brings back the body 5 days ago, and he does this whole spiel about how to fix everything. And then they're like, okay, da-da-da-da. And then they're like, okay, well, so if young Flash, instead of having young Flash go to the future, kill older Flash, bring back the body, you know, and then he ends up getting killed by his younger self and it keeps looping. Instead of that, they'd send the young Flash. It explains a little better in the book, but not by much. And so therefore, the old Flash just continues on. And then the loop gets closed. That's what they're trying to say. But then they're like, well, what about the body? And they're like, and then he starts going this techno-babble thing about how we could just go to the 25th century and get a clone of Flash, blah, 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 and all this techno-babble. And then it's like, I don't know. Aren't we heroes? Shouldn't we sacrifice myself? I'm a hero. Da, da, da. And then he comes up with this whole thing of like, yeah, but we're bros and brothers and sisters. And sometimes we just, family's more important. Bros before heroes. Bros before heroes. I was like, oh, good Lord. And then Harley steps in. Because remember, the villains are the heroes in modern comics. But before we get started, and the Justice League and everything, I just wanted to say to Flash, I've lost control, like you did. I did not so great things. People got hurt. So I want you to hear this from me, from my heart. You framed me and killed my girl. Fuck you and fuck you, fuck you. Knees him in the balls. Oh, right, that happens. And it lingers. Are you fucking kidding me? More 9-panel nonsense. It doesn't end. They brought me back. They said I was hope, rebirth. But I had lost Linda, my kids. I'd lost my family. They're gone. I couldn't be what I thought they wanted me to be. I thought I was gone too. Oh, look, another Bendis ad for Leviathan. How many are in this book? Oh, look, another Bendis ad. Oh, look, I thought that was the end. There's more to the story. And so we get to see these two buddies laughing while Flash is destroyed. But I hope it isn't denying who you are, what you've been through, what you've lost. Hope is knowing what you carry with you. How heavy is the load? How easy to be still to do nothing, to yield the weight and fall in the mud. And yet, despite that burden, or maybe because of it, you're still running. That's 4 Bendis ads. Yeah, four ads for Levi. None for Hawkman. So that's it. That is Heroes in Crisis. That was it. Wally West is the murderer. He is now in jail. You know, which is, I'm glad they didn't like try to fake it off. Like Booster Gold's idea, they didn't use it. So his whole thing was a waste of a couple pages, but it made you think, oh shit, they're going to fake. Sorry, phone got cut off because file's too big, which tells me I've been recording too long. What I was saying is, I'm glad that Wally didn't fake the whole thing, and they didn't do a cover-up. That would have been that Wally owned up to it and did the heroic thing. But that's small potatoes. Like it's like, okay, great. You had Wally do the heroic thing. Thanks. But this should have never fucking happened. Wally is not, everything I said in issue 8, this book did nothing to alleviate the problems of issue 8. In fact, it exacerbated it. I've had some theories of my own about how they could fix things. It involves the metal event, and it involves the dark multiverse, and it even involves the year of the villain, and they're talking about some of the characters that are in the current DC universe right now actually aren't who you think they are. Bada bing, bada boom. Wally West. It's an easy thing, but it doesn't seem to be that's the case. So yeah. This is stupid. Not only did they destroy the hope of rebirth, which essentially in a metaphorical sense, is also destroying Rebirth. But they told it in a utterly pretentious, postmodern bullshit fashion that wasn't enjoyable to read other than a few issues. There were some high moments, but in general, it was nonsense. $4 an issue times 9 issues. $36 DC took from me to be angry. And you other people that bought this book, this is not acceptable. This is wrong. And to all of the modern comic fans that just love everything, and I see them on Twitter all the time. I sent a tweet out to DC telling them my dissatisfaction, and of course I get these people coming in, how dare you take your hate elsewhere? And I'm like, my hate elsewhere? I'm on my Twitter feed tweeting to DC, you barged in. I'm not taking you're coming to me. But these guys, they just schlock wherever. They just lick it up and just love this postmodernist shit. Because they don't care about comics. They care about the statement. Oh, they see this and go, oh, Tom King, it's so deep. You're writing about people in crisis and needing psychological help. That's so important. Yes, that is important. But that doesn't make it a good story. And this isn't. This is garbage. I wasted your time long enough. Hopefully I saved you from reading the book. Hopefully I saved you some money that you didn't do. I'm a completionist, so I got up to issue 8. I was like, I might as well buy the last one. Cross my fingers. At least I got some gorgeous Clayman art. This is just terrible. You should be outraged. I'm more outraged now than I was at issue 8 because it is actually over. At least with issue 8, I was like, well, the story's not over. This is done now. Wally is in jail. He's confessed to the crime. Well, congratulations. You just turned Wally West into a murdering villain while you make Harley Quinn a hero. That's postmodern bullshit comics. Thank you so much for watching.